You have almost certainly seen the photograph. A shy, 20-year-old Lionel Messi kneeling in the Barcelona dressing room, carefully bathing a tiny baby in a plastic tub. It was taken in 2007 for a UNICEF charity calendar. And that baby, chosen from a draw in a working-class neighborhood, grew up to be Lamine Yamal. Now, 18 years later, the two of them are about to meet on the biggest stage in sport, Messi's Argentina against Yamal's Spain, in a World Cup final. The internet calls it destiny, a perfect fairy tale. But look at that photograph a little longer, and you will see it as something else entirely. It may be the most political image in modern football. This is politics in everything. Today, the baby in the photo. First, the fairy tale, because it really is a beautiful one. The story we all share is simple and irresistible. The king, washing the baby who would grow up to inherit his throne. A passing of the torch, captured by accident, nearly 2 decades before anyone could know what it meant. It went viral when Yamal's own father reposted it, and it has exploded again now because those two people, the man and the baby from the tub, are somehow meeting in a World Cup final. It is the kind of story sport exists to produce. So hold that warm feeling for a moment, and then let us gently turn the photograph over and read what is written on the back. Because the real question is, who is that baby actually? Lamine Yamal was born in 2007, just outside Barcelona. His father is Moroccan. His mother is from Equatorial Guinea. He was raised in Rocafonda, a working-class, heavily immigrant neighborhood in the town of Mataró. When he scores, he makes a gesture with his fingers 3-0 for the postcode of that neighborhood. He is Catalan. He is black. He is a practicing Muslim. He is, in other words, the child of 2 different migrations from a corner of Spain that the country's glossy self-image does not usually put on a postcard. And this is where a sweet photo quietly becomes a political document. Because today, Lamine Yamal carries the hopes of an entire nation. Grown adults paint his name on their faces. A whole country, when he plays, feels like it is watching one of its own. But at that very same moment, Spain, like much of Europe, is tearing itself apart over a single, burning question: who really counts as one of us? Immigration, identity, religion, belonging. The photograph sits right on top of that fault line, whether we noticed it or not. And the contradiction is stark. According to widespread reporting, Yamal has faced racism over his roots. Commentators have openly questioned his allegiance to Spain. The nationalist far right has tried to use his story for its own message, with the implication, rarely said outright, that you can only be truly Spanish if you are not, for example, Muslim. And yet, that same nation drapes itself in the flag he carries onto the pitch. It sings his name. It needs him to win. A country cheering for a hero that a loud part of its own politics is busy arguing does not fully belong. That is not a contradiction hiding in the photo. That is the photo. And here is what makes Yamal fascinating. He does not hide any of it. That 3-0-4 celebration is not random. It is a statement. It says, I am from the immigrant neighborhood, and I am not going to pretend otherwise to make you comfortable. He has spoken about his faith. He has used his enormous platform to speak up on Palestine. Reporters now describe him, quite simply, as the face of a new, multicultural Spain. A Spain that already exists in the streets and the stadiums, whether or not the country's politics has caught up with it. The baby in the tub grew up, and he refuses to be a blank screen for other people's comfort. And do not forget the other person in that photograph, because Lionel Messi is a migration story too. He left Rosario, Argentina, at just 13 years old, not for glory, but because a growth condition needed expensive treatment his family could not afford, and a club in a foreign country, Barcelona, agreed to pay for it. The greatest footballer who has ever lived is, at his core, a small boy who had to leave home. So look at that tub again. On one side, a child who migrated to survive. On the other, a baby born of parents who migrated for a better life. Both of the people in football's sweetest photo are quite simply stories of movement. And this is the thing football keeps doing over and over. A national team is supposed to be the purest possible symbol of us. The flag, the anthem, the ancestral soil. But look closely at almost any great national site on Earth, and what you actually see is a living map of migration. Old empires and their colonies. Borders redrawn. Families that moved for work, for safety, for hope. Over and over, the team that makes a country feel most powerfully like itself turns out to have been built, in large part, by exactly the kind of people its politics is trying hardest to keep out. The shirt says nation, but the squad almost always says world. So what is that viral photo, really? It is not, in the end, a photo about destiny. Destiny is just the comforting story we lay on top because it asks nothing of us. Underneath, it is a photo about belonging and about who gets to decide it. A black, Muslim baby, the son of immigrants, from a postcode the country would rather forget, cradled by a boy from Argentina who himself had to cross an ocean to chase a dream. And 2 decades later, a whole continent stands around arguing about whether children like that one are truly its own, even as it screams their names into the night on a Saturday. So the next time that image slides across your screen, and it will notice what is really happening. Millions of people are joyfully sharing a story about the child of immigrants becoming a nation's greatest hope and accepting it instantly, without a flicker of doubt. Football lets a country do something its politics often cannot: love the individual, while still fearing the category. The baby in that tub grew up to make an entire nation feel like us. The only real question left is whether a country's politics can ever be as generous and as clear-eyed as its fans are in the 90th minute. Everything is political, even a baby's bath. One photo, 2 migrations, and a whole continent's argument, hiding inside a moment of tenderness. Everything is political, even the people we choose to call our own. This is politics in everything. If this changed the way you see that photo, subscribe and tell us in the comments. Who does your national team really belong to? Next time, a new arena, same game.